Hi everyone, today I'll be showing you how to factor and solve um, a fourth order polynomial equation. So for this example 3, we have m to the fourth power plus 8m squared plus 12 equals 0. Um, so here notice that the highest power is 4, so there will be 4 solutions after we factor and solve it, after we factor and solve for m. So the first thing we want to do is see what what multiplies to 12 and adds up to 8. So you could pause and think about it. Then after you get your answer, resume the video. But um, what we could do, so we could try if we for example tried 4 and 3. So we know that 4 times 3 is 12, but 4 plus 3 does not equal 8. It equals 7. So we know that it can't be 4 and 3. So if we tried 6 and 2, then we know that 6 times 2 is 12, but we also know that 6 plus 2 would equal your 8. So now we could break it up into two different groups. So here we would have m to the fourth plus 6 m squared plus 2 m squared plus 12 equals 0. So now we can group them. This would be your first group, m fourth plus 6m squared, and then your second group would be 2m squared plus 12. Um, so for this first grouping, we have to see what is the biggest number and or variable that you can take out of the parentheses. So the biggest value we could take out is an m squared. So then inside of the parentheses be m squared plus 6. We can verify this by distributing the m squared, multiplying it by this m squared, which gives you m fourth, and then m squared times 6 would be 6m squared. That's how we can verify that we did it correctly. And now for our second grouping of the 2m squared plus 12. So here it looks like we could take out a 2. And if we take out a 2, then in parentheses we'll have m squared plus 6. It's important to note that this this value in the parenthesis and this value in the parenthesis are exactly the same, which tells you that you are factoring this correctly. So now we will bring together what's outside of the parentheses. So in this case it's m squared plus 2. And then inside of the parentheses we have m squared plus 6. So if the question asks to factor them out, this would be your answer. But if you're asked to solve for m, then we set these two values to 0. M squared plus 2 equal to 0. M squared plus 6 equal to 0. So now the m squared plus 2 equal to 0. If we solve for m, here we could subtract 2 from both sides. which will give us m squared equal to negative 2. And then we square root to get rid of the m squared. We'll have m is equal to plus or minus square root of negative 2. Or you could say it's equal to plus or minus I times the square root of 2. So now for the m squared plus 6, we could subtract a 6 to both sides. So m squared equals to negative 6. Get rid of the squared, we do the square root. Now we'll have m is equal to plus or minus square root of negative 6. Or we could say that m is equal to plus or minus I to square root of 6. Either one of these would be acceptable. Yeah, so as a note, note that, for example, square root of negative 2, this would equal square root of negative 1 times square root of negative times the square root of 2. Not negative 2, just times the square root of 2. So we know that the square root of negative 1 is I. And if we bring down the square root of 2, we know that square root of negative 2 is also equal to I times the square root of 2. So here we have two answers over here, the plus or minus square root of negative 2, or you could say plus or minus I times the square root of 2. That's two answers. And then we have two answers over here, the plus or minus square root of negative 6, or you could say plus or minus I times the square root of 6. That's how you solve a fourth order polynomial equation. Thank you.